This show is taking a turn for the.
Oh.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Monster Bass Live. Yes, I just spit all over the microphone. We got a great show for you today. We got Travis Manson from SmallmouthCrush on the show. He hasn't been on the show in a little bit, and so I'm excited to have him back. We'll probably talk a little bit about drop shot. I'll probably quiz him on smallmouth bass and see if he really knows a thing or two. Let's see. We'll go into the mailbag. We'll see what we got. We'll take some live calls. Let's see who's here. Rafi, as far as I'm concerned. Wait. Is Rafi late again? Oh. Jared Fix. Is Rafi late again? Oh, is Rick late again? No, Rick's not late. Rick's right here. And Jared's not here. We got Conrad. We got a true professional. When I say professional, I mean like a professional. Like, it was enough when we had a guy that we had to blame for problems when they went wrong. But so we got rid of him for the moment, and we are rolling with Conrad. If you don't know him, he'll be playing at a stadium near you pretty soon. So, yeah, we got a great show for you. It's been interesting. We're prepping all the new products and getting ready for the holidays. And I'm learning a lot about product development and design because, I'm doing it today. And I'm probably not the best person on the planet to do it because I give the factory feedback like, can you make the grooves on the underside deeper? And they kind of look at me and, I'm sure there's proper terminology and proper verbiage to use, but I never use it. And and then when I give them feedback, I'm like, I watched the bait in the pool and it was doing X. I want it to do Y. And I'm pretty sure they look at me and they're like, what are you talking about? But I feel like the end result's a good one. Like the flat-sided crankbait that's coming out, it's pretty legit. And the design of it is one that I'm like super excited for you guys to see. I'm going to pull it up because I want you to see it. Let me see if I can show this to you. I'm going to show you the underside. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, there you go. See, Jared, that would have taken like 3 minutes. Conrad, not a second longer. So it's got these grooves. And what I noticed is when we did it, it almost made the wobble even tighter. I don't know why, but it was really cool in the way that the water also moved. I could visually see the way that the water dispersed from the sides as it was tracking through the water. And the wobble became a little bit tighter, and I've seen Yozuri do that a lot when they make their baits. And I've often wondered like why they do it, and of course they won't tell me because it's gonna because it's probably like some kind of trade secret. Hold on, Rafi's jumping in the chat. I love this. Rafi's back, folks. So that's the flat side. And then I'm doing something like that on the spinnerbait. Although, again, they asked me about the hook. So I called up my friend over at Mustad because I'm going to use Mustad hooks on the spinnerbait. And the question then be get Travis back. Oh, no, we don't. Can you guys hear me? I can't tell if we're live or not. I think we're live. All right. We don't know what happened. We had some technical difficulties. Jared set us up. And so clearly Jared set us up for failure. Where was I? I was talking about spinner baits and the hooks that we're going to use. It doesn't matter. Whatevs. It's going to be a great spinner bait. You guys are going to like it. I think I'm coming out and starting with 2 different sizes, 6 different colors in each one. Mustad premium hooks, hand-tied skirts. I'm kind of excited about it. It's a lot of fun. And of course, if you haven't heard, the rods. I just checked with the factory because it's the last day. China and all these countries overseas have more holidays. When I lived in Canada, they had the same thing. They had Kids Day, Grandparents' Day, Parents' Day, Family Day. I kid you not, Family Day. It's a holiday. Every country besides ours has all these holidays. We do too, but password changed 30 days ago. Rafi, try the one that, I always use with the exclamation point at the end. That should be the one. Anyway. Okay, so, wow, we got a lot of people in chat here. The hook. Yeah, we were talking about the hook, whether to use black nickel or nickel in the spinnerbaits. Tell me in the chat. I'm going to use mustad hooks on the spinnerbait. Should I be using nickel or black nickel? Or you don't really give a crap because at the end of the day, I mean, it is what it is, right? It's a hook. So, but comment down in the chat. Let me know nickel or black nickel. Would love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget, folks, we got the golden tickets today. We're going to go through the October box, see what's in there. I got some surprises. And we're going to talk a little bit about fishing. Is that okay with you guys? Because I got a guest who, you know, despite all his actually, I got nothing. I mean, he's just a hell of a stick. So let's just roll this. Let's just open the phone lines. Okay, so the phone lines are open. Let's line it up. I won't keep you long. Let's welcome our guest today. Wait, can you tell me why I'm just getting my September box tomorrow? Yeah, it's September. Why? I don't understand. If you order from September 1 to September 30, or your renewal date is September 1 to September 30, you're getting the September box, and your renewal date is on that date. So if you want to get your box earlier in the month, email me at support@monsterbass.com. Ask me to move your date up. We'll move your date up. You'll get your box earlier, and everybody's happy. So there you go. Jorge Rojas, I'm glad you got the first box. I hope you're going to love it. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the baits in it. This is your opportunity to call in and ask any questions you have about the baits you received from someone who's better than me. And do we have anyone that we could get as a guest that's better at fishing than me, Conrad? Or am I just the best? I mean, last week I put Alex Rudd to the test and I answered all the questions ahead of time. And I think I took him by surprise. Speaking of Alex Rudd, thinking about you, bro. All right, let's not waste any more time. So our guest today is literally the first pro I ever met in the sport of fishing. I'll never forget it. It was like 1980, I don't remember. Whenever Skeet Reese won the Classic down at the Red River, I met this guy. He's wearing a visor. He had his hair sticking up, his little frosted tips. And he looked like he was in, I don't know. Let's pick a band. Doesn't matter. And I met this guy, and I was like, oh, all right, so this is what professional anglers are like. And then I met a bunch of professional anglers and realized I liked the first guy. So it's not a surprise why he's going to be our guest tonight, because I kind of like hanging out with the people that I like. And yeah, so let's give a big warm welcome to a guy that if I was making the Mount Rushmore of smallmouth bass fishing, he'd be on it. Let's say hello to Travis Manson. What's going on, man? Can't hear you.
Sure you can. Now
I can hear you. Jared
I didn't do nothing.
No, it was Jared. Jared left a few traps for Conrad.
Let's go with Blink 182. Could I fit into that band?
No.
Is that the look? No.
No, it was who sings Alive?
Lenny Kravitz?
No.
Oh. How about that guy? How about that guy that sings
Loving every minute 'cause it makes me feel so alive.
I don't know that one.
Alive.
No.
Alive. Oh my God, Jared Fixes in the chat. How pissed are you, Conrad? He said he couldn't be here because he had stuff to do, and here he is just shit in the bed.
Sugar Ray.
Sugar Ray. Oh, yeah, totally. He could have been Sugar Ray.
So I saw him
before he got fat.
I saw him in concert.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
I sat next to him on a plane one time.
Mm-hmm.
He was miserable.
Really?
Mark McGrath, right? That's his name?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's his name. He's on like Entertainment Tonight or something like that.
Nah, he might be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how you doing, man?
Good, real good.
Yeah, is it good to be
Thanks.
back home? Or are you itching to get back up to the St. Lawrence?
So I'll be back. I got to head up there tomorrow, I guess, for a little bit, and then I'll be back, and then I'll go back up. I'm back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah.
But yeah.
When are you up there for good?
We're
when
a ways
we sell
off
some
yet.
rods.
We're a ways off yet.
No, we don't have to be. See, I think I have a plan that can get you up there for good.
Oh, geez.
And then everybody wins. You're happy. Your wife's happy. Everybody wins.
Everybody's happy.
Should we just talk about that all day? Put you on the
Not
spot.
yet.
Okay.
We have so much to go through.
We do.
I don't even know where to start.
Well, why don't we talk about the fishing right now and what you're throwing?
Very interesting. So I would say this is the year of myself getting out of my comfort zone and really experimenting and trying different baits, different applications, and forcing myself to just really think outside the box. But the box actually helped me this past week up there. And the reason why I want to bring this up is because I am really I try to be as efficient as possible with the way I fish, and I have certain techniques that produce fish on a consistent basis. But there's another side to fishing. That's experimenting. That's trying new things. That's pushing yourself to do things that you wouldn't maybe fish with previously.
Mm-hmm.
And in the box was an unusual bait by Thunderhawk.
Yes.
Little crankbait, amazing color. Looks like a platypus or I don't know what's the word. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, all right, let's sling this thing around. So here's the cool part. Like, if I wasn't involved in getting this box on a monthly basis, I never would have found out about this crankbait or used it. Never.
And probably more importantly, if you were walking through the aisles at Bass Pro Shop, you would have never picked it up because it looks different than all the other square baits. You'd be like, gimmick.
Correct. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I forced myself to tie it on, and I went shallow, and I went fast, and I covered water, and I caught some big smallmouth on that crankbait, which is something, man, I can't remember the last time I caught a big bag on a square bill type crankbait this time of year anyways. You know, that's September, early September time frame. So very cool. It was interesting being able to do that. And I ran a lot of different baits as well and tried some things this year. And so that's one thing I'm proud of myself for doing this year, was really doing more reaction and covering water and learning, because there's so much to learn on any body of water. I don't care if it's a pond down the road or it's a big body of water that I fish like Lake Ontario. There's so much opportunities and so much different places to go explore that I'll never get to it as much as I fish really in my lifetime. And so I got to try to cover as much water as possible and maybe learn a few things, because for some reason nobody's calling me up giving me fishing spots ever. They're not just handing out, hey, here's some waypoints, go check this out. I don't get emails. I don't get any of that, unfortunately.
So how do you go about breaking down and covering water on a new body of water? Like,
dude, it's all about breaking patterns. Okay. You have to force yourself to start doing something totally different, going in a different area, going to a different zone, and just start driving the boat. If you get a little feeling, go over there. Man, a lot of times you're searching, you're looking, and it feels like you wasted your day because perhaps you haven't come upon what you're truly trying to find that day. But at the same time, you learned a ton. You eliminated water, and perhaps you found, maybe a boulder or two along the way that could produce in the future. And so, you just have to get out of that zone and stop doing things that you will do on a regular predicted basis when you're out on the water. Try it once. Let's say you get the opportunity to go fish 3, 4, 5 times a month. Do your stuff 3 times, and on that 4th trip, mix it up. Do something you totally would never do before. Go explore a different part of the lake. Go look at this. Go try something totally different and see if it works.
Now, how does that change when you're fishing a tournament on a new body of water?
Ooh, so that doesn't, for me, a new body of water and a tournament fishing, I'm going to go straight to my strengths. I'm going to go to what I'm familiar with. I'm going to go try to find that pattern on that particular new body of water, because at least for the first 3 or 4 days, if I have that much time to practice, that's what I'm going to focus on is my strengths. And then, of course, I will have a notebook of keywords, buzz phrases, colors, techniques that keep popping up for that body of water that time of year. And at some point, hey, you need to start throwing the top water in October on shallow ledges. Okay, well, that's something I'm going to have to check out as well, because that's a popular thing to do on that body of water. So I'm going to step outside my zone, but I'm going to do it with educated guesses based off of other people's input, based off of articles, based off of videos that I look at for that body of water, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes a ton of sense. So speaking of your strengths, if you're fishing a body of water, you haven't fished it before and it's a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
What are you tying on? What's the first thing you're throwing?
Oh man, so I always fall back on finesse baits quite a bit, and whether it be a bottom type of bait, whether it be call it Ned rigging, call it what you want, I'll have that tied on. I'm always going to have some sort of exposed hook tube tied on, and of course I'm always going to have some sort of drop shot tied on. So I'm going to have a few spinning rods ready to go for those applications, and believe me, it's done me well in the past, even on lakes where people are power fishing, and that's the predominant pattern for that time of year. I've seen it work for me, falling back to your strengths.
Okay, fair enough. So speaking of drop shot,
Mm-hmm.
You throw tungsten or lead?
Whew. I prefer lead.
Why?
I prefer tungsten as much as I can.
Okay.
I'll throw lead every once in a while if I get into extremely tough terrain, and that all depends on the bottom content. But you could get into some gnarly rocks where that tungsten's just a little too heavy and it's going to slide into every little crevice. But that's a rare situation. I prefer the tungsten only because it's going to allow me to have a smaller diameter weight, get down quicker if I'm dropping straight down, or if I'm making a cast, I'm going to have better bottom contact. I'm going to be able to feel what's actually down there, whether I'm coming across a little bit of sand, zebra mussels, harder bottom, slate rock, grass, whatever the case may be. Tungsten's going to give me a little bit better feel. So I do prefer to use tungsten as much as I can when it makes sense. But if I'm losing weights every other cast, probably not so much.
Yeah. And you care about the planet.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah.
All right. Talk to me about these two different drop shots.
Sure. So one is it looks like you can put your line in what they call like a crimp style. It allows you to put your line through and then crimp it. And the other one, you can actually tie direct to the drop shot weight.
Got it.
Yep.
All right. And so what are the different applications? Why do we make both of these?
Honestly, I feel like the crimped version, for some reason, people thought it would be cool to, if you get snagged, to just kind of crack the rod real quick and snap that weight off and then retie. A lot of times, my weight and my hook is set at a specific position for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So even if I snap that off, and let's say I snap 3 off in the day, and now my drop shot is even smaller and I haven't retied, that doesn't help me too much. Another reason why that crimp style is so popular is just, I think everyone just kind of fell in line with that's the story I'm going with when I'm creating a drop shot weight, and that's what I'm going to use. And I'll tell you what, I used to use those quite a bit because there wasn't a whole lot of tie options that I found out there.
Mm.
And once I start tying, because listen, I'm going to, with a crimp line, you have a weaker point in there. The smallmouth I catch, and listen, I mean, I'm fortunate to be on a great fishery. We'll catch sometimes up to 100 fish a day. And if I'm drop shotting and using that crimp style weight and I'm catching 100 smallmouth, I'm losing 20 weights that day just because of the fact that when they come jump out of the water with so much force, they're slinging that drop shot weight. Now I've crimped and then I've done 2 overhand knots and I've done that and that works, but it leaves the drop shot not quite uniformed. And I'm really particular with how everything's rigged. And I'm sure some days it doesn't matter at all. And it could just be in my head. But if I had the choice, I'd prefer a line tie. I don't get hung up often. And when I do, I normally can snap it out. And by tying direct, you're not going to lose as many drop shot weights with that crimp method. And so I pretty much have gotten away from doing that, the crimp method with all my current drop shot weights, whether it be lead or tungsten, if that makes sense.
Sure. Does the color of the weight matter to you?
I think it matters to the fish at times. I think there's days when they key in on that lead profile, when they see that, especially a quick drop, and then all of a sudden the bait's hanging in position above that. But then there's times I feel like a more of a flat black or a darker pattern is going to get more bites. And so if I had a choice, I think I'm 50-50. There's times, I mean, it's hard to justify, hey, did that color of the weight really get that bite or not?
Right.
But I prefer a little bit of dullness to that weight if I can.
Got it. All right. What do you have this month's box?
Let's see. I got a lot of boxes.
That's not it.
Come on, how do you know?
I can tell.
You can tell that's not it?
That was last is that this month's box or last? I think that was last month's box.
Let me look. Should say when it was shipped, right?
Maybe.
Man, I wouldn't know how to look. Well, let's just go through a few. So there's that. How about this one?
What's it say?
Tokyo rig. No.
That's old.
That's an old one. Hold on. We'll get there.
God. That was this month's? Uh-oh.
I don't know.
No, I think the one that had the River to Sea D-Walker is in this month's.
Then that would be
the one you opened first.
So it was. I was right.
Yeah, listen, I need the help from Bruce Nichols to keep me,
right,
keep me steady.
The Tokyo rig. Now I'm all confused here. Yeah, this has to be this month's.
All right.
Maybe not. It says summer heat reaches a fever pitch.
That can't be it.
Oh my God.
All right.
Of course we got. Is that the one with Epic Eric on the back?
He's in every single issue. That guy, yeah,
he would be.
He totally does.
I know I have it.
All right.
You gotta help me out.
Well,
Honestly,
while you're at it, you know what? We're just gonna take a call.
All right, let's
go to the phone lines. Have you seen what Z-Man did? Z-Man went and said, you know what? We got about 2 inches too much on our finesse worms. Let's just cut the ends off and put them on.
Yeah.
We're gonna have Daniel on. We're gonna have Daniel on in about 2 weeks, and we're gonna talk about.
Why are we talking about that?
Why?
Give us some time, man, to go wreck them before the general public starts buying those up.
They're in next month's box.
Shut up.
Swear to God. I have every single one of Z-Man's new.
I'm going to tell you guys
baits.
something. And listen, I didn't. So I wasn't even going to make videos about this because I wanted to go a little bit. I've been using that for about 3 weeks now, and from the jig head that they designed for it, the ticklers, the TRD. I don't even know I want to talk about this little bug shaped thing that I haven't used that one yet, but I'm gonna find some applications for it. But the micro finesse shrooms
Yep, I got those.
paired with the micro TRD in yoga pants or green pumpkin
Okay.
has put some giant smallmouth in the boat for me this year already.
Really?
Absolutely. I love it. I actually have a rod designated just for that application, ready to go full time.
Now that rod that's designated for it, did you design it?
No, it's a 7-foot medium light.
Oh, all right.
Yep,
I'm just
yep,
checking.
yep.
All right. I guess we can, let's go to the phone lines. Oh, what are you drinking today?
Wild berry seltzer.
I got to tell you something. All right. So I've spent pretty much every time I've ever been live, I think I've made fun of you for drinking hard seltzer. And because I don't drink beer because I can't process the stuff. And I went on the 4th of July and we rented this giant houseboat on Lake Havasu. And, you know, normally I was always a vodka guy, but you can't drink like red cups when you're in the water because it's bound to be a disaster. And so I had to find something else to drink. And I found these hard seltzers called Happy Dads. And now I'm hooked on them. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's the only one I'll drink, and now I've got like they sell them at one store. I walk in and I look like an alcoholic. I'll buy like 10, 12 packs. I put them in the fridge in the garage, and then I just keep them there. It's so good. Anyway, let's go to the phone lines and see who we got here. Go ahead, caller.
Hello, Travis, Rick, top of the day to you. It's T-Rex.
Hello, T-Rex.
Hi there.
What's going on, bro?
First, I want to say thanks to Rick for donating to my charity this last week. We raised, what was it, $495 off what you sent. We made a total of $10,400 for scholarships. That's 10 kids getting $1,000 scholarships.
Good for you.
So just wanted to let you know. We really appreciate it. When you get a chance, can you please shoot me your address? I can send you a thank you letter and a hat. Travis, for you, I love to drop shot. What's an acceptable amount of distance between your hook and your weight?
Sure. So that really varies, and we could literally probably talk an hour about the differences and why. So let me give you a quick rundown on that. If I'm fishing primarily for, say, largemouth, I'm going to run that about a foot or less. And a lot of it depends on the time of year and the structure and what they're holding on. And, of course, if they are tight to the bottom. Sometimes you'll find a situation where they may be suspended and you have to go a little bit higher up. But if you're drop shotting for largemouth, say, and you're around man-made structure, whether it be docks or maybe you're pitching around a grass edge, and so a lot of times you're going to use some sort of straight-tailed worm, perhaps. So a robo worm comes to mind in that 6-inch range, something like any type of finesse plastic that you would either nose hook or Texas rig. With that application, probably 8 inches to a foot is what I would be looking at. And you just really want to pay close attention not to have super tight line on your retrieve constantly. You want to be able to let that bait free fall just 8 to 10 inches and then work it back up without moving that weight. Now, for smallmouth bodies of water, and a lot of times, especially, let's say we're fishing shallow and I'm making a long cast with the drop shot, I'm going to want about the same for a largemouth at that point, about a foot, maybe a little bit more, 14 inches. And that's only if I'm making a long cast and I'm working the bait back to the boat or wherever whatever platform you're on the bank or whatever. And I'm just slowly working that back. Again, not really moving the weight when I want to implement the action to the bait. But then when I want to cover more water with it, I am going to reel it and more reel it quick and then drop it and dead stick it again in that 12 to 14 inch range. Because normally on that initial drop, if there's a smallmouth around, he's going to come over there, investigate, and decide to eat or not. And so I don't have to work that bait all the way back to the boat. I can reel up halfway, drop it again, and see if there's a fish that's going to come to it quickly. And that allows me to cover water fast with that application. Now, a lot of times when I'm fishing really deep and I notice I use my electronics a lot, they could be a foot off the bottom. They could be 4 feet off the bottom. So really, for me, dropping on them, I like about a 2-foot leader just to see, because not all fish are always at the 4-foot level and not all fish are hugging the bottom. But again, I'm going to really try to keep that line a nice bow, but still have feel for what's going on down there and let that bait fall and not keep a tight line with a 2-foot lead, because I'm not, that bait just sitting there being pulled and then maybe shook, or I see a lot of people hop it. That bait just not looking natural. You got to let that thing glide down and fall and then bring it back up and then carry on. But I've used as long as an 8 to 9 foot lead for fish that were suspended 6 feet off the bottom, which is a little bit harder to cast and utilize, but that is a technique. So there's no right or wrong. And again, sometimes if you're fishing fish that are real tight to the bottom, you're only looking at a 4-inch drop. So you got to experiment. I guess if I had to break it down, 12 inches for casting or largemouth, dropping straight down 18 to 2 feet leader. Hopefully that answers the question somewhat. That was a lot there.
Yeah, that's
Rick.
perfect. What's your go-to hook for drop shotting? I personally like the Spear Point Finesse, but that's my
okay. Yeah, so I try to experiment every year, whether it's a viewer's suggestion or I'll get an email or I'll talk to another expert in the fishing industry. And I like to, I'm definitely not closed-minded when it comes to it. And so I've used a lot of different drop shot hooks day in and day out. My favorite still to this day is the Gamakatsu split shot drop shot size 1 hook. It just holds up. It works well for me. And again, everyone's going to have a different I guess reaction or a different experience with their hooks based off of their rod, based off of how they work the bait, based off of their hook set. All that comes into play. So with my rods, with my medium lights for dropping and my mediums for casting, and the way I set the hook, I really found that the Gamakatsu works best for me. Now, someone else might like an owner or one of these Japanese companies based on how they set the hook. It's really, there's no two. Someone else could take a hook that I hate and probably catch just as many fish off of it, because it's a total different way that they are setting that hook into that fish, if that makes sense.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I actually have some of those hooks here too. So, I've just been doing really, really well with the Spear Point. And like you said, everybody's got their different taste. I'm just curious what you were using.
Yep.
All right. So I'll let you guys go so you can get.
Awesome. Thank you.
See you later, T-Rex. All right.
All right.
Rick,
you guys have a great evening. And Rick, please shoot me that address so I can send you something.
I will. Thank you, man.
I appreciate you.
All right. Appreciate you too.
Hi, Rafi. Later.
All right. I'd like to give a big shout out to our new sponsor, the I don't know who thinks that this crap works. Chat69 XYZ, the best adult dating site on the planet. according to nobody. It's ridiculous. Like, I can't
Crazy.
believe.
I get that. I get that too on my live shows from time to time. We try to catch those when we can. But Rick, that brings up a good point. You know, T-Rex had a question about your drop shot hook, and I see it so many times with different anglers because when I do guide, I fish with a variety of different people on a daily basis, and everyone has a different style on how they set a hook on these finesse applications, and some are crazy looking, but they work for them, and some are just totally wrong, and I got to correct it. But I learn a lot too just watching guys and how they interact with these fish on a regular basis when it comes to drop shotting. But man, it's a never-ending challenge to find the perfect setup there.
Sure. Totally. What? Let's see. Let's. Why don't we before we take our next caller from? Actually, our next caller, Travis, you're gonna like him.
All right.
We could probably talk about all the conspiracy theories that you might have, because our next caller has classified G14 clearance just like me.
Okay,
but we won't get into that. So our golden ticket time, folks. So if you got your box, you got an individually numbered golden ticket. It might like this. It might be the smaller version. I've actually not received one. They send me my box, and it doesn't actually have a golden ticket. I think they don't want to waste the numbers on me. So, all right, Conrad, let's let it rip. What's the first golden ticket number? 24462. Oh, you can just let it go live. 24462 is the first golden ticket number. And, yeah, there we go. Let's all eat bugs, says Rick Henry. I don't know about that. Jason D570. I was told by some old timers that they would run a hook between two stoppers, so the hook is adjustable.
I can see that. You can put a bobber stopper. You can put the hook. I guess I've never attempted to even try that.
Yeah.
I am checking the ticket.
Yeah. There you go. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Jig Squad. Could that be him? Trolling you?
There could be a Jig Squad trolling, for sure.
Uh-oh.
He's been known to troll.
All right. Let's go to, all right, folks. I'm going to give away some stuff, but you got to call in and got to ask questions. But first, we're going to go to Washington, D.C., if that's really where he is. And, he could be undercover, but let's find out.
Let's go.
Hello, sir. Are you on? Marty, where you at?
He gets banned already.
Oh, he must be in like one of the bunkers. He could be in one of the CIA holding cells, flogging somebody. They'd probably deserve it. All right, Marty.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, yeah, I was on mute. You know, I got that secure line on the other side. That
I understand.
Paying attention to. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Hey, glad to call in on the show, but I need some help, Travis. I'm in the middle of fishing a local tournament here in the Fredericksburg, Virginia area. I fish the local reservoirs. The water is crystal clear. Like, I can see down sometimes 12 feet in areas. The grass is dying. So a lot of my finesse techniques where I'm fishing those grass lines and things like that are just not working because that grass is dying. I got to get 3 fish in my boat tomorrow. Any suggestions? What would you do in a situation where the bass are kind of largemouth, bass are kind of scattered, the grass is dying, the water level of all my reservoirs, being that we haven't had rain, they're dumping close to 8 million gallons a day out of our reservoirs.
Whoa.
So that water is down probably close to 8 to 10 feet
from earlier in the summer. So, all that structure that I was fishing before is now completely exposed. So I'm looking for advice. I'm looking for something to try. I've been throwing fluke. I've been throwing wacky. I've been throwing throwing jerk baits and square bill crankbait. And I can't get them to commit to anything. Top water early in the morning, I get a few, but they've been real small, really up shallow. So any suggestions would help right now.
Sure. So here's a real good one. I think your fish, I think you mentioned they're scattered, but I really think you're going to find that there's going to be a whole bunch of them schooled up on some of the last remaining good-looking green vegetation if you can find any. I would make it a focus to try to find the last lush green grass in that body of water. That's one tip. The other one, I guess you got to kind of walk me through your setup. Do you have, don't hate me for asking. I need to know, do you have forward facing sonar?
No, I have a Garmin Striker 4 on my little tiny bass radar.
Gotcha. Okay. Another option would be to try to locate schools of bait that are also going to be pushed offshore, perhaps away from that dying grass, but on the edges. And I would throw like a 3.3, even maybe a 3.8 this time of year, just a swim bait, maybe with an underspin. Count it down to the depth that you think those fish would be hanging out at, and just kind of do a slow roll to try to cover some water. That would be another choice. Another thing I would do is I don't know how efficient you are with Ned rigs and just finesse your baits, but try to find some offshore structure where you can finesse fish. Or I don't know if there's any spillways. It sounds like it's a reservoir. I don't know if there's water coming in, even a trickle in some places. I don't know if you're going to have some.
Not at all. Not right now, that's for sure.
Okay. I was going to say those types of places would be a good place to set up. But if there is no moving water, I think you want to look for some of that deeper structure that's off of places where you've had consistent luck when the waters were normal. Because I don't think those fish are going to move too far, but they're going to go on that next break line or that next piece of structure. But really important, I think, is to try to find that better grass. And to do that, you can rip a jerkbait through there and see if you pick up more luscious green vegetation, or any crankbait, any of that. And maybe you can pinpoint some pockets where there would be a little bit more activity. That's just based off of kind of.
So, I mean, I understand all that, looking for the green vegetation. I have found some of that, and I'm getting some strikes. But now, I like, obviously, I finesse fish a lot. So, Ned rig, no problem. But right now, it seems like a lot of these fish are off of these main lake points. But right now, that grass goes out so far with that water level down as much as it is. So I'm actually spotting fish, in what would look like 12 to 15 feet of water when it's actually only about 4 feet, but it's just inundated with grass. It's a hard time getting in there. So would you recommend just going with a longer leader on my drop shot and maybe using a floating bait like Z-Man or something to keep that bait up above the grass?
No, because I think you're going to want to get down into that grass. So I would work some sort of worm, but Texas rig it, right? It's not exposed. And I would use like a 1/4 ounce drop shot weight. And wherever you see these fish, I would remember, and then either go back to it at another point, but stay way off of it so they don't see you, and pitch into there with that drop shot rig and let it work down into that grass. And then you're going to want to pull that through. And if you pull off of a little bit of grass and you feel that it's clean, drop it back down in those holes. That's one way. Another one, might work is trying to get a reaction bite by either flipping that grass with like some sort of creature bait, or doing a power shot, meaning stepping up your line, going 12, 14, 17-pound test with a creature bait and a heavier drop shot weight, and kind of punching through that grass to get a reaction bite. That could work as well.
Right. What about maybe a shaky? I'm sorry, like a shaky head. Would that work? You think?
Yes. I would try to do like so my shaky heads have evolved over the years. I consider the Z-Man Big TRD on the Pro Shrooms head something that I use and kind of consider it a shaky head, if you will. But that's what I would try first. That's an exposed hook. I don't use a weed guard, but if you can get it through that grass and then rip it clean and fish it for a little bit without getting too much grass on your bait every cast, and you can get away with it, I would try that approach first.
Okay, yeah, I have some of the Z-Man SHM that Brian Latimer came up with.
Okay.
The worms and that bait, so I can actually kind of rig it more Texas, so I can keep it weedless. So maybe I ought to try that. I appreciate it.
Sure, absolutely.
You need some shaky heads?
And hey, all the time. Yes, I do.
What about that one? That's a pretty good one. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
What's up, Rick?
What?
Yep. I could use some of them.
Okay.
Just send them to me.
Okay.
Hey, Rick, again, and Travis, hey, great having you on the show. Rick, thank you for all you do. I love these boxes. I'm broadcasting them all the time, and wish me luck in the tournament.
You don't need luck, man. You just got the juice from Travis, and you're already a stick, so you're good to go.
All right. Hey, thanks, guys. I appreciate you taking my call.
You got it, man.
Thank you.
Wait.
Buddy.
Do we need to talk about anything, Travis? What? Do we need to talk about any conspiracies? This would be our guy. Classified G14 clearance through the government.
I changed my viewpoints
on what?
On a lot of conspiracies, Rick.
How did that happen?
More information.
He's not watching the news.
More information has come to me that has enlightened me, has made me a little less concerned about things that are going on, if you will.
Travis.
It's all fake. Travis, listen, I'm telling you right now, it's all fake news.
I understand that.
But this will make Travis happy. Travis, do you know who Adam Savage is?
Adam Savage. Is he a wrestler?
No, that's Macho Man.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, so do you know what I learned today?
What?
So Mythbusters.
Yeah.
Isn't one of the guys named Adam Savage?
It could be.
Yes, but Macho Man was Randy Savage.
No, I understand. However, here you go. You ready for this? Adam Savage, the guy from Mythbusters, subscribes to MonsterBass. I shit you not. And I also found out also, I'm not a big country and western guy, but I think it was this guy. Hold on. We got some famous people that I had no idea about. Is there a Cody Johnson?
He's a country guy.
Yeah. He gets our box too.
Nice.
But forget Cody Johnson. We're talking about Adam Savage from Mythbusters.
Right. That's wild.
Yeah. Maybe he can break down the box and demystify the differences between them using some sort of something. I don't know. What? All right. For both of you, I got a question for both of you. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm. Where's my question for you? Huh. Where's my question? I had a question for both of you guys. Okay, ready?
Yep.
We'll go with Marty first. What is better, inline fishing or putting the weights at the end of the line, or just using lures that are weighted? It's a question.
Yeah. Well, it depends on what you're using. I mean, I like putting the weight at the end of the line, i.e. drop shot. But then I've seen some stuff where they're modifying drop shot rigs and actually letting the weight slide so you can move the bait up and down more while maintaining bottom contact. So I think I like the weight. I like the weight at the end of the line. Travis?
I think I've done it both ways all the time, so I can't. What's the bet? There's so many. There's different applications. Like I wouldn't be able to answer that, only because I fished them both ways constantly, right? Like I wouldn't have.
Oh,
I'm neutral.
You
Can
failed.
be
I
neutral?
win. I win.
I'll
What's
be
the best?
Wow. Marty's dropping the mic right now.
No neutral. You got to pick one, otherwise you're the loser. I win.
Well,
Rick, send me some stuff.
we'll give it to him. We'll give it to him.
Yeah, clearly. Clearly. All right, Marty. Well, good luck and
All right, guys. I appreciate it.
bring home the title.
All right, buddy. Thanks.
See ya.
Appreciate it. Bye.
We actually have another famous person on the show tonight. He holds the record for the longest time watching and never calling in.
Huh.
And I think tonight he's going to call in. He's going to ask some questions. And we'll see if he's actually a real person or if we're being catfished. I don't know.
There you go.
One of the two. All right, let's talk about. Talk to me about these shaky heads here. So,
Okay.
whatever. They're. I used mustad hooks when we made them. They come in like 5 different sizes.
Yep.
Two different colors. I got black and I got green pumpkin with some red flakes. I think I might even have another color in there. What? When do you like to fish shaky heads, and why?
So anytime you want to slow down, work a bait over cover, work a bait over structure, bottom contact baits. Well, it can be finessey, or you can go pretty extreme with a shaky head too. Most of the time I'm throwing a shaky head, it's a finesse bait, but that's not always the application. I would like, so there's a lot of different color heads on the market out there. And you mentioned, green with some red flag, things like that. I like just straight black. And the only reason why I do that is just to keep things real simple for me. So if I'm using a green pumpkin, or if I'm using a black and blue, or if I'm using, whatever, pick a color. I just think black is a great contrasting head for whatever bait you're going to use. So anytime I can get a bulk order of those, I'm going to go straight black, even though I might be using different colors with that shaky head. Now, I do like the fact that you have a screw lock on there. I think that's the most important part of a shaky head, because it gives that bait a little bit better action. You're not destroying it, crawling up the hook shaft. And a lot of times these hooks points and whatnot don't line up properly with that. So having the screw lock and then really taking the time to make sure it's rigged straight, whether you're popping it back out over the top and having an exposed hook, or if you're Texas rigging it back in, you just want that bait to line up and make sure it's on properly. Now, again, depending on the brand of plastic that you're going to use, you may, even with that screw lock, go through a lot more baits, depending on the durability. But that screw lock is really going to help if you do have a bait that will withhold multiple fish catches. And sometimes you'll just have to make small adjustments. Or, I mean, I've done this plenty of times. You just cut off a half an inch and use that screw lock again and kind of save that bait. So.
All right, good stuff.
That's my 2 cents on.
And you're sticking to it
on the shaky head. Absolutely.
What? Just out of curiosity, you're why aren't you having drinks tonight?
Just the seltzer. I've been on the seltzer, man. Not as much drinking maybe as the past. I don't know.
Wow, who is this guy?
So here's the problem.
Okay.
Not the problem, but I used to be hooked on White Claws, right?
Yes.
And it wasn't the alcohol, man, that I was hooked on. It was the seltzer feeling. It was that taste. And so now instead of spending, $15 on a case, I spend
$3.99
on seltzer water. If you saw my desk right here, you'd see 6 empty cans just from the last hour and a half. So at night, when I'm doing podcasts or I'm hanging out in the garage or I'm messing with tackle, there'll be times I'll go through a 12-pack a night. For real. Yeah. I just got 5 12-packs in the truck right now. I bought at the grocery store today because they don't always have my flavor. And so
what's your go-to?
So I go back and forth. I used to like black cherry. Well, I shouldn't say it. I still like black cherry, but wild berry has been kind of the deal for me lately. But I'll get into a blueberry every once in a while. Don't get me wrong.
I bet you will. You're so mature. This is a very mature version of Travis Madsen. I bet your wife must really like you a lot right now.
Well, I mean, I don't even know how to answer that. I don't even know.
I'm just gonna go with a yes.
Okay.
So you got a video coming out for Monster Bass. I haven't seen it yet.
Yes. Yep.
On a Chatterbait.
Correct.
What can you tell us a little bit about this video and maybe drop some knowledge for us?
Well, Rick contacted me and said, "Hey, man, we'd really like to get a video of Chatterbait with a diesel minnow," and really that lined up perfectly. Like for one of my reaction type baits that I use quite a bit is a Chatterbait, and just so happens I love the diesel minnow as a trailer, so it was a perfect fit. But it was one of those days where I wanted to make a great video, but I also didn't want to just go. I mean, I got 20 places right now in mind where I should go and throw a Chatterbait and I could catch them. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go and explore that day, as well as, because now I'm chatterbaiting, I'm trying to make a video, I get the opportunity to cover water, right?
Yeah.
Get up shallow and put the trolling motor on high and go. And that's what I did. And I'll be honest, there's about a 2 to 3 mile stretch where all I could find was little fish. I didn't get any visuals on anything. It looked amazing. It was a beautiful part of the river. I mean, it was gorgeous, but the fish just weren't there. And so midday, I'm like, because I do this a lot when I go on these tangents and try to make a video, and I realize I screwed up today, man. I got no content, whether it be from my channel or anyone else's, and half the day's wasted. And now I got to try to do this again tomorrow when I'd rather probably do another technique or go do something different. So I'm like, I gotta make a video today. I'm like, it's getting late. I got a couple. I'm not going to put a bunch of 2-pounders, 3-pounders on a video. You know what I mean? I'm like, I got to go find some giants. And so I took a little run, still different, new water. I've fished these areas I've never fished before.
Okay.
I pulled up and I found a pod of decent fish. I think my first fish was just under 6. I think I had another one at a 5. I had a heavy bag. I had 25, 26 pounds that day for 5 off of that Chatterbait in the afternoon. And so I was able to put together a semi-decent video minus some of the audio, but I did come back in studio and patch some things up and whatnot. So it'll be a cool little video that just allows people to see the importance of being able to cover water quickly with a Chatterbait, experimenting with retrieves, and visually trying to see the fish, as well as perhaps catch one that you didn't see that came off of that Chatterbait on a reaction strike.
And if you can't see, and if you're having difficulty seeing it for whatever reason, you just get up on a ladder, right?
You could do that too. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Give me one hack for the Chatterbait.
one hack for the chatterbait.
Yeah.
Ooh, man. Okay. Well, so I've done this. I don't recommend. Oh well, yeah. If you want a hack, a true hack, you rip that skirt off of that chatterbait, and you just put a swim bait on there. There's a hack. Not that I've seen a huge difference, right? I don't mind throwing it just like it is out of the package with the proper trailer, with the proper color. You know, on this particular day, I was using white, maybe a white and chartreuse, because I had a visual of that bait the whole time back to the boat. Because I'm in clear water, I can see exactly where my bait is, and I can see if there's a smallmouth that's not committed, but it's tracking. And that I had a bunch of strikes right at the boat, and I've had a lot of fish that followed and then went back down, and I was able to catch them with a finesse bait. But just because you see me using white and chartreuse for smallmouth, which is a great color, great bait fish imitator, it doesn't mean they're not going to eat a green pumpkin or a black and blue or any of those colors. They certainly will on that day, or when I'm really burning, almost burning a chatterbait, meaning reeling it really fast. If I have a white bait in my hand and have a visual, it just allows me to keep track of what that bait's doing and if there's a fish following it.
You know, a very wise man once told me that he likes to trim the skirt on this. And like literally cut it and almost trim it in half.
Sure. Very good idea. Absolutely. I do that with jigs a lot. Most of the jigs I'm fishing with, I'm going to trim them just past the bend in the hook a lot of times, especially if I'm messing with specific trailers and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely.
I'm fascinated by the whole bait hacking thing. It's really, to me, that's really interesting. Like all the different ways people hack them to throw something at fish that they just, for whatever reason, haven't seen, or just something a little bit different. Right. Hey, we got a question here from, I don't know if you know him or not. He's been around the block or two. It's the governor himself, Gramps. And he said, I've always fished smallies in creeks and rivers. How do you pursue them in 30 foot of water near a dam in a man-made reservoir? Largest lake in Indiana.
Yeah. Your drop shot, your Ned, man, don't be afraid to fish a 1/10 ounce size Ned rig in 30 feet of water. I do it all the time. All the time. Make a long cast to the structure wherever you think those fish are hanging out. Braid to a fluorocarbon leader is your friend in those situations, because you're really not going to have any feel, very little feel for the bottom once that bait gets down and you're in 30 feet of water. So I want you to picture, because there's a certain way to fish it. When you cast to your structure with a small Ned rig, you want to open that bail literally for a minute and keep peeling line. Because if you close that bail on that cast, that bait's just going to pendulum back, and it's not even get down to the bottom until it's halfway back to yourself. And so you got to let that free fall, and then close the bail, and all you're doing is picking up slack, keeping that on the bottom, and you're trying to feel for the slightest little bump, meaning that it hit bottom and there's some contact. A lot of times I don't really feel nothing. And sometimes halfway back into the retrieve, I'll find myself opening the bail even more just to make sure. Now I use a lot of my electronics, so I can see that bait most of the time and know when it's on the bottom. But that is something I do so many times, and I've caught so many fish on it, fishing that lightweight. And a lot of times, we have a bait fish called the goby in the Great Lakes, and they're always pecking our baits. And so obviously a lot of places, a lot of guys that are trying this in their inland lakes won't have that, but the bite feels just like a goby at that depth, with that small of a profile bait, that a lot of times it's a 5-6 pound smallmouth, and you just feel a little different tick And then when you go to pull, there's something going on there. And that's when you have to commit to setting the hook. You can't half-ass the hook set at that point. And you're either going to have a fish, you're going to know that was a fish, and you're going to stick them, or you're going to realize, hey, I just messed up. That really wasn't a bite. But you have to learn what that bite actually feels like. And then when you're ready to set the hook, you need to set the hook and reel up slack and make sure that fish, once it is a fish, you keep reeling until that rod folds over, and then that fish decides to start moving a different direction. Then you can let your drag work. But it's really important if you're going to fish those smaller baits in that deeper water. I think we went off on another sort of tangent, but a drop shot will work too. I don't.
No. I think first of all, I want to apologize to you, Travis. First of all, that was some sick knowledge, and secondly, I don't know how many thumbs up there are, but I think there's like 7.
That's it? Come on, guys.
Like there's 116 people on. 7 likes.
Huh.
Unfreaking believable. Well, you know what? Let's liven the party up a little bit. Let's T-Rex 56. T-Rex probably hit it 56 times for us. Thank you. Okay. You ready?
4. Anything goes?
Hello, it is Mr. Gambit 2000. What's up, man? I feel like I'm in a time zone. Most of the concerts that are coming to the city of Los Angeles now. Ramstein was flaming up the Coliseum this past weekend. You could see it probably 10 miles away. At the Forum, we had the Foo Fighters that was there this past Tuesday. Not Tuesday, but it was actually Monday. I'm like, what the hell? The Foo Fighters? It was a 6-hour tribute to Foo Fighters. I'm like, what the hell is going on with all this stuff? We almost had, Def Leppard was there 2 weeks ago at the Forum. I'm like, okay. There's a flashback of old dudes playing guitar late night around the city of Los Angeles. What the heck is going on? All right, guys. Rick, I don't want us to miss the boat on this guy. You know, he is one of those guys, and I didn't know he looked good on TV until he filmed something with Roland Martin this past year. He came on the Roland Martin, and him and Eric made it look pretty. They actually look pretty on TV. Now, I'm telling you now, somebody needs to shoot a pilot with them at the front of the boat, and not with them fishing, with them getting to the mission of fishing. That is the excitement of watching Travis Manson's SmallmouthCrush when he fishes. He has a mission. When he starts out, he lets you know his mission. He starts the mission. He gets to the end of the mission sometimes. If he doesn't cut his camera off first, say, I'm done with this, I'll get back to you guys later. But he makes it fun. Somebody needs to shop this guy a deal and see if he can get a TV show. At least 6 episodes, 8 episodes for the year and see what we can do.
I like the idea.
Well, that's what we're saying, guys. At this time, Rick, we're going to leave it up to Rick. Get that production deal. You're in Hollywood, man. All you got to do is, okay, let's get that boat wrapped in MONSTERBASS and see if we can get some guys fishing. Epic Eric, talk to Epic Eric. See if we can get him at the front of the boat with you. You guys need to come west, spend at least 2 months out here, getting some filming done. Let's shop it in Netflix. Let's shop it for, Outdoor Channel. We'll shop it. Let's get some on film first.
I love it.
I noticed you forgot to mention Pitbull.
No. But the football, it's Thursday night football. We already know.
No. I said Pitbull. You were talking about concerts here in L.A. and you missed Pitbull.
Yeah, well, Pitbull was here. I didn't even want to talk about Pitbull. I'm going to tell you, there was so many pissed off chicks around me talking about Pitbull, who they had tickets and who didn't get tickets. It was just a pissed off kind of time because the Pitbull concert sold out. And that was just pissed off pretty girls talking about they couldn't get tickets.
Yeah, well, before we move on to the fishing, did you know that I went to Ramstein?
Yes, I know you went to Ramstein. That's what I saw. I saw your YouTube. You were flaming it up. But, I got some other clients around me here who they went to the concert also. Then I saw some of the flames. Guys. I'm surprised you didn't get your beard singed They were blazing flames so freaking high in the sky. I said, somebody's going to get caught on fire.
All right. You got a fishing question for this guy?
Absolutely. All right. This is what I'm going to say. We know you like throwing big baits. I saw you go down south with the dream catcher. Let Rick know what type of big baits you like to throw, because he's going to get a 7-Eleven rod in the lineup. He's not going to get an 8-foot yet, but he's going to be doing some big baits eventually. I'm going to talk him into getting some big baits in the next year or so and see if we can send out some big baits.
Well, that's an interesting question. Yes, I do enjoy going out with people that have way more experience than me when it comes to throwing big baits. I don't, but I enjoy doing it when I get around the right person. So, yeah, Dreamcatchers Guide Service, they do a great job down there. There's a number of people across the country that are great at throwing big glide baits, swim baits, things like that. I am literally the wrong guy to ask. I enjoy doing it, but it would be like some guy that all he does is fish Okeechobee, trying to tell you how to drop shot on Lake Michigan. You know what I mean? It just wouldn't work. I enjoy doing it, but that's probably one of my biggest weaknesses as a bass angler, although I'm not going to call it a weakness. It's just I think there's more effective ways to catch fish at times and I've proven it many times over, slinging big versus slinging big baits. I do understand the enjoyment, the thrill of perhaps even I've seen it at these outdoor shows of these people standing in line in the cold just to get in to get their hands on a custom made glide bait that costs $250.
That's crazy.
So the prep work to do that, I totally get it. I totally get that excitement. I can't relate to it, but I understand it, right? I understand that mentality. And then having the right gear and talking rods and what gear ratio and what's your favorite line for this application, and then how you're going to go about doing it, and then going out there for 12 hours to get 2 bites or 3 follows or whatever the case may be. Totally respect that. It's just not my style at all.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Now, I'll tell you what we do out here in California, for sure. Thanks, Rick. Now, you know, we do trout plants out here. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you do make that trip out here, let it get a little chilly, but we don't get real cold out here. But when it gets a little colder, we do trout plants in all the lakes from Northern California to Southern California. We got a high, fishing license out here, almost $60 for our license for the year. So when they do these trout plants, it is something else to throw big baits when those trout plants happen. So I'm sending you that open invite, my man. When you come out here, let me know when you're coming. Let's get you out here in some of these waters when it's in the wintertime, and let you throw some of the baits that we got, and let's see what you do, because I'm telling you, between you and Epic Eric, it will be must-see TV. You guys definitely got to get this TV show produced in the next year or so. Take care, guys. Good talking to you. All right, Travis.
Thank you.
See you later, man. See, Travis, I'm telling you.
Yes.
Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to call the next golden ticket. Fire up your golden tickets. And I'm going to call them out. Ready? 23841, 23220, 17010. Yeah. What else do we got in here? I got some interesting stuff. People want to know what's coming in next month's box. Well, I can tell you that there'll be a Z-Man Chatterbait. I can tell you that there'll be some diesel minnows. I can tell you that there'll be an underspin with a trailer. A shaky head with a trailer, a suspending jerkbait, and I think something else. But everything that pairs together, I think everything that you can use this time of year,
right?
And I think it's a pretty solid box. So. Let's see here. We got some questions. I probably have 10 golden tickets I've never checked. Gramps. You're supposed to be helping me get rid of the stuff that's in my garage, not exasperate the problem. Like, come on. All right, let's see what else we got. What do you guys, I'm curious to know what everyone thinks about. This is a brand that's been around for a really long time. What does everyone think about Baker Lures? Yeah, I'm going to show you a bait. You know. This thing has, this one's suspending. Half-ounce jerkbait, mustad hooks. Everyone uses mustad hooks. Tell me what. I'll tell you what. I do like the way that this thing suspends, for sure. Brendan's like, I'm not impressed. All right, Brendan. Come on, bro. Here, let me show you another one. Let me show you a different brand.
While you're digging.
Yeah. Go ahead, tell me.
Let's talk about next month's box. You mentioned the diesel minnow, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be throwing that as a swim bait on a trailer, a chatterbait, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you guys a quick tip. I want you to try to locate some Power Finesse Shrooms by Z-Man. And you want to get the heaviest they make, which is 1/5. Okay? So you're going to open that up. And I want you to take your diesel minnow. I want you to rig that on that, like so. Real simple. Pop it through. There you go. So now you got your diesel minnow on the.
This is what you had me throwing up on the St. Lawrence last year.
The Power Finesse Shrooms. And you fish this just like a Ned rig. You're not swimming it through the water column. You're not slowly dragging it. You're literally casting it out. This heavy weight is what's the key, because it's going to make that tail kick on the way down. Now the bait's on the bottom, standing straight up. That there's a little bit of movement still, and you're just going to scoot that along on the bottom. Little shakes, dead stick, stop. Little shakes, dead stick, stop. And you're going to get a lot of bites fishing it on the bottom versus swimming it. Now, it works good as a swim bait, too. That's what it's designed to do. Nobody's fishing this as a Ned rig. And they're missing the...
Could you put it on a shaky head?
You could. It's going to be hard to put on a screw lock.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
But yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That would never work.
It would work. You might have to heat up the you can heat up the whatever it's called.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
I do.
Yeah.
All right.
You can fish at any depth from 2 feet of water to 30 feet of water. Just like that.
I'd like to throw a question out to everybody in the chat. Can we digress for a little bit, Travis?
Yeah.
I'd like to know, I'm pretty sure everyone here in the chat or watching online right now, you probably have 8, 10, 12 rods. I'd like to know how you store them all. Because I've got all these rods that, I've got the rods, I got the whole line of lunker sticks. I've got all the samples from like every brand that sends them to me. But they all just like sit in my corner until they fall over, and it's a mess. How do you guys store them all? And I don't want to hear that like your truck, Hannah. By the way, oh my God! I just want to let you guys all know we've got royalty here. Hannah is one of the newest members of the 10-pound club. Yeah, that's right. Anyways, welcome Hannah, and she also had a birthday which I missed. So happy birthday, Hannah! But seriously. How do you guys store them in your garage? Not in your truck, not in your car. A Cast King rod holder. Wrapped with covers, sure. In my living room next to my TV. Dusty corners. until they all fall down. I made a rack. So, yeah, I feel like there's got to be a better way because I have all the rods. They've got sleeves on them, but they're like literally all sitting in a corner up against the wall, and there's got to be a better way.
Mm-hmm.
No rack mounted. A couple of Bass Pro Shop rod racks. Rod racks on the wall. All right. So it sounds to me like there's really no, it's all over the map. In my bed, so the wife has to sleep on the couch. Oh, that was T-Rex. That's funny. Funny stuff. Racks built from 2x4s on the wall. PVC pipes. I feel like there's got to be a better way than me build. Like, guys, I'm not going to go cut 2x4s and buy PVC tubes. Point me to a solution where I can just like plop them in, stand them up, make them look good, and I'd buy it. Wouldn't you? I mean, wouldn't you rather just have something that would just like make your organization better? Monster Bass rod racks, of course. Hint, hint.
I have such a small little bit of space. I got to utilize it all properly, and it's a challenge. It's definitely a challenge.
Well, there's that thing you stick on the wall that holds them in place. What are you talking about? Buy a display rack. I'm not buying a display rack from a tackle shop. All right, we've talked enough about this. What I'm trying to think about what I want to talk about. Don't want to talk about that. That's giving away too much. All right, hold on. I mean, he must be back from torturing prisoners. Hello?
Hey, I'm back.
Okay.
Hey, Rick, I just sent you an email to Rick at MonsterBass.com. I actually bought like the foam rod holders that you can put up against the wall. But what I did was I mounted them to the back of my garage door, and that way the garage door can go up and down, and all my rods are sitting right there. I actually sent you a picture.
Yeah, I see it.
It works out great. You can put as many of those rod holders you want, and it just rolls up and down with your freaking garage. Keep them out of your way.
That it's an interesting concept. I'll think about that. Thank you.
Yeah, it works really well. You know, I can put them in rod sleeves and have the reels, everything on there like I showed you in the picture, and it just works. You know, I'm going to put another set on the other side. I have it's a double 2-car garage, so I can put them on either side, and I can put those mounts on every panel on the door. So I think there's, 5 panels to the door. So I could probably put 40 rods up on my garage door if I wanted to.
40 rods, and it holds 1, 2, 6, 5, 30. That's that would cost me. I have the price here because Chauncey down in Texas just sent me the link to it. That whole thing for 40 rods, it cost me about $160. That's a lot of money.
There you go.
That's a lot of money. I'll have to look it up. I appreciate you. You sent.
Actually,
go ahead.
Yeah, I think I only paid. I think I might have paid like $10 for 2 sets of those rod holders, which holds like 10 rods. So
yeah, but I didn't buy it at a garage sale.
Good old Amazon.
Okay, there you go.
Amazon.
All right. Wait.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
Later.
All right. All right. I think we're gonna have to investigate this.
Something.
Okay. Let's see what we got here. All right, let's take another call. This guy is probably going to be a little angry. I want to just let you know.
Okay.
Because, you know, you were talking some smack about big baits, and that's all he throws.
I definitely wasn't talking smack. It's just a personal preference. But let's
Maybe.
go. Bring them on.
All right, let's do it. Go ahead, caller.
What's going on?
Why are you so angry?
I'm not. I just love the bigger stuff, but you know, that's just how I like to fish. You know, I like to weed out the smaller fish and catch the bigger ones.
Sounds
But then
good.
again, you have to clear water, so you have to use light line, and then you catching smallmouth, and I'm sure it's a lot of fun. But the problem is here we have so much cover that we need the heavier line, and it's muddy water, so we have the ability to use that heavier line, so that lets us use bigger baits more effectively.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
every region.
that's why I
different.
like to use it. But yeah, and whenever you buy a big expensive bait, it's buyer's remorse, but it's also like Christmas morning. So it's a love-hate relationship with them.
Yeah,
especially when
right,
you lose
right.
$160 bait.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Like the
It's
fact
over.
that you just said, I just spent $160, and I know that that's not, you know, that's not even like expensive for baits. Like the idea
it's a
of
lot of
me
money.
throwing a $250 bait, and then God forbid
higher.
it gets stuck. I am
Well,
going
most of the time
into.
I throw them from the boat.
I'm going. I don't care. I'm going
a plug
into
knocker,
the
you know.
water. I'm following that line, and I'm pulling it back up. There's no way I'm losing a $250
No,
bait.
Most of the time when you're in a boat, not from the bank, but if you're in a boat and you get hung up, you're able to get those baits back. Now, sometimes you might have a nick in your line, or you have a bad knot, or you have a
Well, I
weird.
check my
I mean, those are things you can control.
I check my knots.
Yep, but getting it
I
stuck.
retie my knots every single hour.
Yeah.
All right, that
Getting it
sounds
stuck,
a
you
little
normally can get it back.
obsessive. This is
And
ridiculous.
then you use a plug knocker as well. So that way you get it out.
What's a plug knocker?
It's like a piece of almost like lead and steel.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it has
yeah,
a
and
loop,
goes
and you tie a
down.
rope to it.
Yeah,
and you hook it onto your line, and
Yeah.
you shoot it down there. The problem is it sometimes breaks the bait. So if you're using like a ABS plastic bait, it'll snap it in half. So gotta be kind of careful with them.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm with One Kush One. I'm going swimming over $30. Like, that's
Well,
ridiculous.
they're draining the lake soon, so I'll just be able to grab it.
You mean grab many of them?
So
I'd be down there on the day that they're draining it. I'd
oh
be
yeah,
like,
I'm sure I could. If you'd like free lure Friday,
yeah, oh, heck yeah.
free bait Friday.
I love it. I love it.
It's awesome. Oh yeah. So Travis, have you been eating any more of that black cherry ice cream?
I've been. I've actually
Or
been
are you laying
eating.
off of that?
No, I've been eating clean for about. I'm probably about 40 days in now.
Really? Who is
yeah,
this
dude.
guy?
Oh wow.
Who
No,
is
I always-
this guy?
I-
Wait,
I-
that's bullshit. Wait, hold on. I call bullshit because I saw you post. You had a glass of red wine and a plate of bacon. You liar.
Okay, yeah, that's eating clean. I can have a glass of wine once in a while.
A plate of
Bacon's
bacon?
clean. Bacon's probably one of the best.
Bacon is delicious.
Best
No,
things to
listen,
eat.
I love bacon. But
It's
that
not
can't be
unhealthy,
just
though.
that can't just be your dinner.
Sure, you can live on bacon.
I didn't say you can't live on bacon, but like come on.
So I eat clean about 6 to 7 months out of the year, and so it's kind of like, how do I put this? When I can control, like, when I have a not as busy or hectic of a schedule, I'm gonna eat as clean as I can because I know there's gonna be times when I'm gonna eat some nasty food, and so this fall transition here, I've just been, I've been eating. I'm pretty much putting protein and good fats in my body, and that's it, man. So no ice cream.
Nice.
It's been a while. Believe me, I'll hit the ice cream again here and there, but it's been a while. It's been a while because I can go
Well, that's good.
extreme. You
That's
know what I
good.
mean? Once I put on about
Oh, same here. Same here.
5 to 6 extra pounds, I'm like, all right, we got to cut back, get back to my fighting weight. So that's all I do.
You need to take some tips from Devo. He did the MMA for a while, for a good long while actually.
Yep.
Yeah, he's able to do all that real quick. But make sure to hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button.
So
yeah. And then Rick, we could do an entire episode on bait hacks. Like I drill holes in the crankbaits, add weight, take out weight, add foam, seal it over. I do everything to them. It's like it's just getting that little bit of edge over all the other baits to make them just slightly different. That really does get you more quality bites and also sometimes more fish. But I don't think I fish a bait stock unless it's like a soft bait, like a creature bait or a worm or something like that. I mean, it's a lot of fun, but it's some work. But it's cool.
So what's
I think
your
that's the bait maker coming out of me messing with them?
So what? Give me one bait hack.
Okay, well, the most important one I do pretty much every single bait is change out the hooks and the split rings.
Yeah, but
that's the number one you can do.
On a chatterbait?
Oh, on a chatterbait.
Oh, you're not watching.
So
I was holding up a chatterbait.
No, okay, got it. So for a chatterbait, usually I don't do too much of a hack on a chatterbait. Okay. So like, I haven't really like messed with the big blade yet, but that one seems like a really good one that you could probably maybe add like a larger trailer or add a secondary skirt or add like a living rubber skirt. That's going to add more of an action and it stabilizes it a little more. Because the problem with the big blade is you can't burn it as fast. But I think the biggest one you can do is probably take off the skirt, like off a jackhammer, just like Travis said, and throw like a fluke on there, or maybe like a flat terrace or something like that. That way it gets a little bit of action, but it's still just causing a little bit of drag, so it stabilizes it. So like the Sixth Sense makes a new one called the Juggle. That one's really good on the back of a jackhammer because it's small, still has a profile, but it makes the bait kind of hunt, which is really cool. Kind of like the Magula Moth Chatterbait from, I forgot what brand makes it. I think it's Amakatsu, but yeah, that's what I do.
Got it. What were you gonna tell us, Travis? I see you grabbing stuff.
No, I was I got the hook in me, but I got it out.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure you're okay.
I'm good.
Then you could have taught us all the braid trick. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, these are
that's a really good thing to learn, though.
These are triple grips, so a little more difficult if I was to get it past the barb, but you can do it.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Is that the A10?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one.
He's
coming out with a bigger one, which is exciting.
Brendan, where'd you get all your fishing knowledge? Who taught you?
Well, I kind of learned a bunch of it from myself and just time on the water, which is where I learned a lot of it from. I learned a lot of it from like Butch Brown and Mike Gilbert, and then a bunch of other people. That's usually where I learn a bunch of it. So, yeah, a lot of it's just time on the water and lots of other people. I've learned some stuff from you guys in the box, which is awesome. But, yeah, I just mess around with stuff.
All right. What,
yeah.
I'm going to ask the question I think everybody's dying to know. What'd you have for dinner?
Okay.
What'd Mom make?
All right, so we had chili, and then we had chocolate cake for dessert. It was
no cornbread.
It was pretty good. I don't like chili too much.
No cornbread.
No cornbread. Just chili and chips, cheese. It was not bad. Definitely not bad. Definitely not the most extravagant.
All right,
but it was good. You know.
Sure.
Can't eat like the Taj Mahal every day.
Well.
Yeah. So. So, Travis, do you have any tips for fishing jerkbaits? I am not a big jerkbait fisherman. I have maybe 3 or 4, maybe not even 3 or 4. Like I have a couple of them, but I'm really bad at fishing jerkbaits. Do you have any tips you can give me for fishing them?
Oh,
because I'm horrible at it.
Yeah, where do we start? That's another 3-hour show.
I mean, I have the basics down, like the type of rod you're
Yeah,
using and
sure.
certain baits that
Well, I
that are
think
proven
there's
to work, but that's about it.
Yep. I think there's three different rods or rods that I would utilize if I was to set out to go jerk bait. One would be a spinning rod, and that's for throwing smaller jerk baits, or if I'm really trying to rip a
Okay.
jerk bait hard. The other one would be a jerk bait rod, a bait caster with braid, and then the other one would be a jerk bait rod with fluorocarbon. And so the braid I'm doing ripping
Okay.
through grass, vegetation, wicked jerks, right? Trying to
Okay.
get a reaction. The fluorocarbon is going to be your
Never heard of
standard.
that before.
Yep, standard open water deal. And you can vary. You can do a fast jerk as well with that, or you can do your pauses and things like that. But um, I have a jerk bait tied on
Mm-hmm.
year round. In the summer months, I'm gonna imply more quick jerks, very short pauses, but it's a workout.
Okay.
It's a pretty intense way to fish, and you got to just get the feel down, and you have to get that jerk bait running right and get that cadence down. And once you get it, you get it. Because I see again so many people come on my boat, and I try to get them to duplicate what I accomplish with a jerk bait, and it can be hard if you haven't done it a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
summertime, I'm uh, I'm just a fast reaction bite with the jerk bait, but in the winter months or late fall, winter, even and in early spring, I will slow it down. I'll get that bait down the depth I want it to. I'll do two or three, sometimes just little strokes, right? Just pulling that bait and then pausing it. And
Mm-hmm.
again, I use my electronics so much that I can see how those fish react to that jerk bait as well at all times. So there's a lot that goes
Okay.
that I would really take it out away from the standard jerkbait season, right? And throw it during the summer and early fall.
Mm-hmm.
Right now would be a great time, and start ripping that thing.
Okay.
And you might be surprised, And as I should say this, as much as you rip it, like I'll do two quick jerks and then a pause. Um, as much as you're gonna rip that, you want to at some point implement a longer pause in that retrieve about midway, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
So what does that do to the fish? Does that give them time to look at it and kind of really decide if they want to bite it or not?
Sometimes there's going to be a fish tracking that bait the whole time, and he's not going to commit until you have that longer
Okay.
mid-section pause. But because I fish clear water, a lot of times I will neglect to put that in because they're going to still follow that bait, even though I ran out of real estate with my line and now I have to bring the bait up. I can still see that fish down there, and I'll go back with a finesse bait to them. So that it varies. If you obviously can't see them, you got to put in a longer pause to see if that fish will commit at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Travis, when's the last time
what
you
contest are you usually throwing like a? Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry. What size line are you going to be using normally on your fluorocarbon setup or braid setup with like a traditional 110 size?
So braid 20-pound and the fluorocarbon. If it's cold water, open water, and you're not ripping it, I think 8, and you can go up to 10.
Ooh.
But if you're gonna rip it, I'd go 10 to 12.
Okay.
For sure.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. That really helps. I'll give it a try.
Actually, I don't know if we can do this. If I share my screen, Rick, can you see a video?
I don't know. Let's see. Try it.
All right, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
If we can't, it's because Jared screwed it up.
Where is he at tonight?
I don't know. His wife's out of town for a couple more days. So.
Can you guys see the video? I think someone on your end might have to pop it on the screen.
Hold on.
I'll give you an idea how the jerks Like when I'm talking to fast jerks.
Okay.
We'll
You
see
can
if we
take me
get
off the
this up.
screen, Conrad. Take me off the screen and put the video on if you want.
You should be able to just pop in the video.
Well, you know, we're new at this. Like, all right, go ahead, Travis. Oh, wait. Now he's in the green room, so you can't hear him.
Oh, there we go. We got it now. I see it.
No, you got to remove me. Can you remove me and put him in?
You guys can hear me now, right?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right, perfect.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, so
You want to start the video over?
No.
Okay.
I don't even. This is just. I've been editing this video. I don't even know what we're looking at here. So, let me get to a cast and actually show you how.
So is this offshore structure?
This is actually a flat, about 4 to 6 feet of water. But yeah, it's
Okay.
just clean rock. So look it. So I make a cast, I reel it down to depth, and then I immediately look how quick I'm working that back. And that's just a Megabass 110. And then look how they just rip it out of your hands.
Wow.
Boom. And now I don't really rely on the drag with a bait caster. A lot of times when I'm using a jerkbait or a chatterbait, I'm gonna thumb that spool. So I'm constantly engaging, especially when it gets close to the boat. You could probably see my thumb on that spool. I don't rely on drags at all with bait casters at all. Like I'm thumbing that fish back to the boat constantly once I get hooked up.
Okay. Rick, I think this is something you need to apply to every single comment if you're able to, every single caller, because this is like really cool because you're able to see how he's working the bait, and he's able to tell you other things with the video that you can't see, and you're able to see the fish catches and see that it actually works. This is like really cool, Rick.
There you go.
Thank you. You're right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So again,
That's like
look
a good
at
smallmouth too.
watch,
Look at that thing. It's fat.
So this fish strike here, oh man, he's taking me all over. I want you to see how this one ripped right here. So watch. So here I'm setting up. I don't know what I'm doing here. It's actually this was the worst. I had terrible audio this day, but
I think you were having I think you were fighting with Eric on the phone.
yeah. So here, look how quick I'm fishing that fast right there, and when they hit, man.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Come on, give it to me. I'm sure I get bit right here.
So I can see you're kind of working this like a 178 hand craft or like an ice slide, a smaller ice slide. You're going like crazy with it.
Yeah, it's but that's not always the typical retrieve. But just it's still, I'm going to call it. This is only last week, but it's still summer patterns. Really, it's that's something I would do.
Okay.
Year round with those. So there you go.
Thank you. That really helps. Thank you so much.
There you go.
All right.
All right, Brendan. Well,
Rick, this is awesome.
Well, thank you. It was a pleasure. And one of these days, we'll
thank you.
One of these days, we'll do the same thing, but we'll be at your dining room table, and we'll have conversation back and forth with your mom about what was for dinner.
Well, that'd be awesome, Rick. You just let me know and come on down.
Next week. Oh, no. I can't be down there next week. We could just go live on film next week from your dining room table.
I can see if we can work that out. I don't know.
Talk with your mom.
I'm going to be gone the whole month of October, hopefully fishing with Alex. So that'll be fun.
I hope you get to. All right, bro. Thanks for calling in, man.
Thank you.
All right, no problem.
Bye.
Have a good one.
All right. You're just asking. You're just asking.
I'm really excited to go throw this thing again, man. I'm just waiting.
Okay, let's we're gonna do this. I'm I'm going to throw out another number.
Ooh.
One more golden ticket, 16389. That leaves one left. And I know everyone at home is like, these are the new numbers. What about the old? Working on it. All right. When's your next trip up north?
So for sure I'll be up on Thursday, fishing. I got to run up there this weekend, but I'll be back up Thursday, for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then back home for a week. And then I'll be back up there again for 2 weeks, and then a little bit of time in November.
And then it's free time.
Then we're done. You
probably need to lock that down before you, yeah.
Sad how fast time's flying, but I get it.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm just gonna enjoy it. I used to get mad this time of year. I used to get mad when summer was ending, and the flip flops go away and the shorts go. I know you don't deal with this where you live right now, but it's dude, it's been a struggle for me for years this time of year. Like, I hate fall. I hate it. But I'm learning to just accept it now, right?
Yeah,
you have to. You just have to accept it. You can't fight it. I fought it for years, dude, and it just made me a miserable person this time of year. When that first leaf, like I would like, it would be my goal to be in the shitty-ass mood I can at the end of August when I see that first change of leaf color, and I'll flip off right there. Like once I see it on August 26th, and I see that little change, I see a little bit of red, I'll lose it, dude.
I get it. I
gotta stop. I gotta just enjoy the ride, man.
The joy's in the journey, man. The joy is in the journey.
Dude. I know.
You got time for one more caller?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, let's see. Go ahead, caller. Where are you from?
Hey, Rick. I'm from southern Delaware.
Right on.
So I'm not too far away from Travis.
Cool.
Right on. Yeah.
Oh, yep. I got one question for Travis, and then just want to let you know. I guess I've probably been a subscriber almost 3 years, but enjoy the boxes. A lot of detail in the booklets. I see, been good what you've done in the past 2 or 3 years from what I've seen. So
thank you.
Looks like you're going in the right direction.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
Travis.
Yes.
I'm here. I'm located between basically the Nanticoke River and the Wicomico River, here in southern Delaware. So my question is, what do you do? You can just go with the fall theme right now if you want, with locating fish on these, rivers and creeks, off of the Chesapeake Bay.
Yeah. Oh, what do? You wait for that first cold snap, and then another week goes by, and then it's November, and the fish will start biting. This time of year is really, really tough. Honestly, the late summer, right? This August, September into early October, for tidal waters can be some of the toughest times to fish. So you have to position yourself around taking advantage of the right tide, and so that's going to be your outgoing the last 2.5 hours, as well as your incoming, because that's going to help position those fish. And then I would start focusing on getting around areas that are going to have that moving water. I know you're going to have a lot of, at high tides, right? You have a lot of vegetation still there, and those fish get back in the pads and in the grass and all that. But at low tide, they're going to funnel out into the creek mouths and any little thing like that, ambush points. So any type of wood that you can see, any man-made structure, duck blinds, things like that. And I would really throw like a small little finesse worm. For me, tidal water colors, black, blue fleck, green pumpkin, orange dipped, yellow dipped tails. Think 1/16, 3/32, weight on your Texas rig. So I would Texas rig them. No, don't peg the weight, just freestyle, small sinker, Texas rig worms. You can do a little drop shotting, Ned rigging, stuff like that. So small finesse baits around that type of structure on the right tide, but then don't discount a moving bait. So a smaller square bill, real small square bills. This time of year, I really like something finessey when it comes to my reaction baits, as well as talking like spinner baits, like a 5/16 ounce finesse spinner bait to cover some water. You might get a little bit of pop hour action on the right tide as well. So like a little Rico, things like that. But really, it's just a really difficult time on tidal waters, as you know, probably this time of year. But put yourself in the best position by taking advantage of the tides.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That sounds good. That was my main question. I sometimes I think I watch plenty of videos of where it seems like there's a little bit of a shortage of, I guess you could say, educational videos on fishing tidal water. And, I know that only affects, there's certain parts of the country that you don't really have as much of that. But over here, of course, where I am, there's plenty of tidal water over here. So, but
Yes.
I appreciate your expertise on that. And we'll give it a shot.
Sounds good.
Hey, Kevin, question for
Rick,
you. Question for you. So you've been a subscriber for 3 years, and it's your first time calling in. What advice or suggestions do you have for me to make your experience or your subscription to Monster Bass better?
It's funny you asked that, because I was thinking about this, and I said that just kind of, in a way, goes against the box, because generally you're more, I'm not going to say big baits, but you're looking for a personal best, And I'd actually like to see a one time a year or maybe a special offer or something that you could, additional box or whatnot, to be a finesse box.
What if I told you hold on. What would you want in your finesse box?
Well, there would definitely be, downsized baits, everything from, I don't know, to say, swim baits in the 2.8 range, somewhere's in there. Your spinner baits and who is it? I can't remember the company that makes them, but it's the Pond Magic. It's like a 3/16 quarter-ounce spinner baits, that kind of stuff. Something a little smaller. I know, like I said, with your box, you're looking for personal best. So when you go with a smaller baits, you're not going to tend to get that, but you will generally catch more fish. So I just think it'd be kind of cool to do that, every once in a while or something.
Well, here's what I can tell you. We are going to make some technique-specific boxes, actually kits, and put them in the box. They're going to come, everything will come in a Monster Box 3700 or 3700 deep, depending on the type of box. And we're going to put everything in there, from the baits to the terminal, everything that you need to fish specific techniques, along with a card that kind of breaks it down. So if, it's your first time fishing, a specific technique, here's a little bit about it. And, here's links to like 4 or 5 videos so that someone could pick it up for the first time, take it out, and, hopefully see some success on the water.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
Well, listen, man, I really appreciate your support, and I appreciate you calling in and for your feedback. So thank you.
Yep. All right. Appreciate it.
All right, man.
Talk to you guys later.
All right. Have a good one.
Yep.
All righty.
Bye. Strike King Pond Magic Spinnerbait? I don't know. I have no idea. I've never heard of Pond Magic. Maybe so.
It sounds familiar, but I'm not. I can't say I own anything like that here.
Well, you don't have that many baits. I mean, or maybe you have a lot, and that's why you're still counting all your 3700s to tell me how many that you need so that I could send them to you.
Yeah. That was
Maybe
gonna
that's
be
a winter project. Maybe that's a winter project.
A winter project, yes.
All right. Maybe you could make me a video for the month of December on tackle organization and what you do in the winter to.
Oh my God, yeah. Some of those videos I've made in the past on my channel are some of the most watched. I guess guys they like that kind of stuff, and it's always changing and trying to make things better. I'm really happy with the system I have in place for this year. Very little changes that I can see myself making. Although, again, I am trying to I'm really working on getting all that stuff streamlined.
Okay.
Because I have so much tackle in the boat right now, and so much that doesn't get used. I mean, do I really need 18 Cinco colors?
No.
You don't. You don't. You need 3 or 4.
3.
Yeah.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, listen. You and I have a lot to catch up on because we do need to.
Yes, we got a lot going on.
So why don't we touch? A good time is when you're on the road, right? Like you got hours to kill.
It's honestly the best time is when I'm right here next to the computer. I'm in the garage. I can focus. When I'm on the road, I'm fishing or I'm rigging up or I'm eating bacon and wine. You know what I mean? Like it's easier. It's easier when I'm here, but I'm here until I'll be here most of the day tomorrow. And then I will be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. But yeah, of course you can call me on the road. It'll be later in the evenings when we can talk.
All right, let me see. Monday could work. Tuesday, I got to see Dr. Jellyfinger. My colonoscopy.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
So Monday the 3rd, I am around. I just have I do my live at 8 Eastern.
So maybe Wednesday's better for you.
So Wednesday, I'm starting to think about heading up north.
Okay, so Monday's better for you.
Monday or Wednesday?
Let's do Monday.
Let's do it. What time?
How about we do 11 a.m. my time, which would be 2 p.m. yours.
Okay. 2 o'clock. No.
Right.
Yeah. 3 hours. Okay.
Call
2 p.m. Rick.
T.
You're gonna call me
money
with some information, hopefully.
And
you're probably gonna be looking for. So by the way, one thing we need to figure out is the date for our other project.
Yeah, I know. I can
I'm on board with. Everyone's on board. We're just waiting on the video guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 11 a.m. repeat calendar alert. Gotta have the alerts because I am the worst.
That would drive me
Invite
nuts.
me, Rick. Done. All right. Monday at 11 o'clock. My time.
There we go.
All right. Well, listen. I want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule and away from your family because you know I know you're only home for a little bit, but I appreciate you jumping on and dropping some knowledge. I don't know, what do we got? Like 4 likes?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
No. We'll get there someday, man.
One day.
Keep
One day. I think as soon as Monster Bass finds a new host, I think we'll be good. Then we might get some likes.
Yes,
but
yes.
all right, listen, man, you have a great night. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And I'll talk with you next week.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, man.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks.
Whew. That was Travis Manson dropping some knowledge. He's such an easy guest to have because he, A, he's got a personality, and B, knows how to talk. And he knows a thing or two about fishing. Whew. Who's my guest next week? Do we have any idea? Let me see. I'm going to look it up for you guys. Let's look it up. I have this thing called Slack that Brendan likes to make fun of, and so does my son. He's like, isn't it just like, oh my God, I'm trying to blank. What the hell is it called? Anyway. Monster Bass Live. Here we go, folks. Let's see who the guest is. Oh, next Thursday. Yeah, Discord. Sorry. Thank you, Brennan. Yes, next Thursday is Mikey Balls. So we're going back to back with some heavy hitters. It's going to be a good show. And I can't wait to talk with you guys all. So thanks a lot for tuning in. Do me a favor, hit that like button on the way out. Oh wait, we got one more golden ticket. One more, Conrad. One more, don't we? Or did I do them all? Oh, I did them all. All right. Listen, I'm about to get the whole rattle trap question if y'all think it's worth it. See you later, Cotton. Brian Rand. God, we had a good group of people in there. Jig Squad. Still not sure who's behind the mask there. But listen, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate your support. I love each and every one of you. And make sure you guys stay safe out there, all right? I'll see you next week.